Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello. Sorry, I had to pee. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hello, cocaine there.
Hello.
Hello. This is now Bing Bong. Ooh, excuse me. Starting off strong. Where to Fent at? Hey. Ooh, let's do a quick hi to everybody. Hold on. I like doing this. This is my way of apologizing for being kind of late. Okay. Hi, Beetle. Hi, Moonbird. Hi, Lonely E-Girl. What's up, baby? Hi, Ricolito. Hi, Hades. Hi, Blitz Railgun. Hi, BSAC Monster. Hi, Captain Joller. Hi, Citrus. Hi, Cobalt. Hi, Donk. Hi, Dan. Hi, Binyai. Hi, Drapsnat. Hi, G-Man Harmon. Hi, Keaton MC. Hi, Lyra. Hi, Magnum. Hi, Majestic Potato. Hi, Monkey Hi, Mantorock 888. Hi, Mark Zink, sorry. Hi, Miko Fades. Hi, Mr. Sticky. Hi, Mixie Pizza. Mixie Pizza. Mixie Pizza. Sorry. Hi, names aren't real. Well, how do you explain that? Hi, Regress. With a Z at the end. Hi, Remissory Bot. Hi, Shadowy. Hi, Sigma. Hi, some guy 295. Hi, Spicy Picante. That's double spicy. Hi, Spinazilla, sorry. Hi, Tarsai. Hi, Timote. Hi, TK Blue. Hi, XLive5 and Zilzmeyer. Hello. Hi. Wow. Hello there. The angel from my nightmare. Hi. Little bears. I introduced myself already, right? I'm Cinna Bonbon. I'm the Cinna. And you are at the Cinna channel. Dun, 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 dun. Just draw like a super cool S. Super cool S. Just like a mew. Cinna Bonbon. Hi. Obviously it's on top of my image, here on the stream. I have never and will never endorse the use of heavy drugs. The stream is purely educational. There'll be another warning as well. This is really just to cover my ass. I know you guys know that I would never be an advocate for heavy drug use or substance abuse, but after everything that happened on YouTube, better safe than sorry. So, oh no. Educational meets the hammer, the mighty hammer. So, okay. Are we ready? I'm ready. I feel like I made you wait long enough. Is the mic good or is like my music too loud? Everything good? Voice a little low? Okay, how's this? Is this better? Can you hear me? Drugs are bad, okay? Okay, drugs are bad, okay? Yeah. Uh-oh. Do I have this looping? I do. I'm so smart. Yeah. Okay. Alright. This is like a special interest of mine. We'll get into I'm getting like way ahead of myself. Okay. So to be clear. Crystal clear. Remember, winners don't do drugs. True. Pee Wee Herman told me crack is whack. Is it time to cook? No, Jesse, it's not time to cook. I have never and will never endorse the use of heavy drugs. This stream is purely educational since it's a special interest of mine to know the effects and what's worse. I grew up in the age of DARE, you know, the drug educational program that they brought to the schools with a lion. Okay, he was super cool. I loved learning about all of it. It was like, oh, genuine special interest of mine. Oh, we get to choose our own, like, presentation to do at the end of the year. I'm doing it on drug abuse. Like, I don't know. It's a special interest. You know, like any white lady, I like learning about drug abuse and mental illnesses. Because I am an armchair psychologist. You know, yeah. That lion created some furries. Yeah, so did Disney. She's a good bear, don't be whack. Yeah, I'm a good bear. Bill's gotta pass the drug test, yeah. Yeah. Okay, after Uncle Ted, I'm not taking any risks to not make it known. I am not a mafia boss, and I don't endorse this. Okay? Good. Cool. Let's get into it. Meds jump scare. True Sin is so did Star Fox and Rare. Oh! Star Fox, but Crystal was so cute. Okay, anyway, content. Pharmaceutical industry and the cannibalization of its patients. Street drugs after prescription addiction or lacing. Fentanyl, and what's worse according to drug users. Fent, yeah. It's all about Fent nowadays. First it was like crack, then it was heroin, and now it's Fent. And Fent is worse than both combined. So that's great. Aha. We'll get into it. Okay. So, the pharmaceutical industry and the cannibalization of its patients. I know, ooh, that's a mouthful. Oh, big scary. It is scary. And I'm gonna tell you why. So, gateway drugs, when you do a quick browser search, whatever your preferred browser is, and you look up the phrase gateway drugs, it will still tell you what you learned in DARE. Okay? That people get hooked onto hard drugs through a slippery slope of marijuana use to cocaine to then crack or heroin, or that it starts within the home of people stealing prescriptions from other people within the home, which, like, talk about a slippery slope. So now I'm also I'm a drug user, chasing a drug that I had never tried, so therefore why am I chasing it? But I'm also a thief? Sounds like propaganda. Okay? The gate, okay, is at your doctor's office. And that's not to say don't fear, don't go in there and be, afraid of your doctor. Don't be afraid. Don't fear your doctor. If you have a good doctor who doesn't push certain prescriptions on you, then you have a good doctor. But at the end of the day, in America, you are a consumer first and then a patient. That has to do with how privatized our healthcare system is. And in a lot of ways it's good, and in a lot of ways it's really bad. Because hook, line, and sinker, pharmaceutical companies can send salespeople directly to your doctor's office while you're sitting there in the waiting room. And your doctor will meet with these salespeople before you're even called back for your appointment that you were on time for, and now you're behind an hour. And much like this video is sponsored by, doctors then more frequently prescribe these salespeople's meds for a percentage of money, like working commission. It is a real thing. It happens daily. On the daily. these salespeople come with more supplies and samples and pamphlets and coupons for doctors to then give to their patients. Oh yeah, it's very vulture. Like Jeepers Creepers. So what? So what, Cinna? Who cares? So what? Major issue with this, besides an overarching morality issue, is now you're being prescribed opioids instead of prescription strength Tylenol. My one older brother, when he was in college, slipped on some ice in front of the school, and he had a dual fracture where his bone ripped through his leg. And like a champ, because he has an addictive personality, they offered him all kinds of opioids, and he went home with prescription strength Tylenol because he already knew he'd get hooked. And you know what? He was okay. Surprise, surprise. He was alright. He was alright. He walks. He's always walked a little silly, but he walks just fine. He's okay. You know? He didn't need it, is my point. Would it have alleviated things a lot quicker? Probably. But the fear behind it was justified for a lot of reasons. Caution! This is where addiction can and does begin. Shanna, you can't blame these healthcare professionals. Yeah, sorry. There's lots and lots of compiled evidence to support my claims by even the .gov sites that help fund all of it. It's just a cyclical thing. Very circular. Everything is pill. A big circle pill. American doctors are lunatics. Their prescriptions are completely disproportionate to the patient's needs. Exactly. Oh, you slipped and fell and really scratched up your knee. You know what? I'll send you home with some fentanyl and 3 stitches. But I didn't even break the skin. Doctor's orders. Who went to med school? This is where I'd like to remind you that as a patient, you are still a consumer before you're a patient. And because you are a consumer, you have every right to advocate for yourself in a way that is polite and respectful, but authoritative. Because you're the person who is writing their check. Yes, the people who are writing their checks are much, much further above you. But the reason they have a profession is because patients like you exist. If everyone was fine and didn't need any improvements to their health, there wouldn't be doctors. And the way that our healthcare system works in America, that means you can kind of hold a doctor accountable to an extent when they mess up. There are many avenues you can take. I think when it comes to really important health concerns, you should be recording. Oh, no, you shouldn't. Yes, you should. You should be recording when you go into a doctor's office, when you sit to speak with your doctor. You should either be recording by writing down what's being said, so you have a written form of what's going on, or you can record it on your phone with, the camera face down, so that way everything that is spoken is documented. So that way when they refuse you care, because they will, you can now have a documentation of that. My dad was in a major car accident a couple months ago. He still hasn't gotten in for an angiogram because he is marked by multiple doctors as non-compliant for his diabetes, which is true. He is non-compliant, but it shouldn't pertain to him getting an angiogram to make sure his heart's okay. So a lot of doctors don't want to work with him right now because on his medical charts, he's marked as non-compliant. Awesome. So, if they can mark things against you, you can mark things against them. And this other thing that you should know, doctors work at doctors' offices. Doctors' offices have office managers that you can report to. And at the very end of it all, if you're recording everything, you can report them to HIPAA. Woohoo! Yep. So, it starts not in the home, but in the doctor's office. Very, very, very often. So here, let's look at some of these statistics, okay? According to the NCDAS, or the National Center for Drug Abuse Statistics, the National Center for Drug Abuse Statistics. Yeah. 4 out of 5 pharmacy prescriptions are for opioids. The leading prescription amongst the US is for a cardiovascular disease. It helps break down the enzymes around the heart, helping with plaque. The other 4, all opioids. Hello? Hello? Sucks when you realize that your doctor doesn't actually care about you and you're just another quick buck, especially at college hospitals. Yeah. But yes, 4 out of 5 pharmacy prescriptions are for opioids. Pick your poison. An estimated 9.7 million, or 59.5% of RX painkiller users, so over half, abuse their meds and are addicted to them. Think morphine, oxycodone. And an estimated 9.3 million, or 57.1%, once again, above half, use, abuse, and are addicted to RX prescribed opioids. I'm not making these numbers up. You can look them up right now. I encourage you to fact check me. It is right there on the NCDAS website. It's right there, in plain sight. Now, when you look up gateway drugs, that phrase, you can't find it. But when you look up RX users addicted to RX users addicted to insert, opioids or painkillers, this is what pulls up. A national website. So it has to be very specifically keyworded to get you there, by the way. Because if you look up anything less specified, it'll give you, helplines and, these mamby-pamby, don't get hooked on weed because it'll get you hooked on this. And don't go through your mother's medicine cabinet, and be careful. And BuzzFeed articles. You gotta actually put in these specifics to get to the National Center for Drug Abuse Statistics. If that doesn't feel a little orchestrated, I don't know, maybe I'm schizo. Feels a little orchestrated. Just saying. An estimated whopping 5.76%, or 16.3 Americans abuse their prescription drugs starting as young as 13. My youngest brother is 13. You shouldn't steal your mother's Valium either. Yeah, but not a lot of people are going through their parents' medicine cabinets. And not as frequently as you would think, because it's hard to replace. I was scared of medicine at 13. Yeah. My brother still asks permission to get, Motrin. Which he should be. He's a child. You get what I'm saying? Is it clicking? Just how... Pipeline. It's a pipeline. Street drugs patient pipeline addicts. Patient pipeline. It's the patient pipeline addict. Love it. It is the PPA. The patient pipeline addict. So the NIDA, or the National Institute of Drug Abuse, strongly warns of prescription drug users switching to heroin or worse once their script runs out or becomes too expensive. Muscle relaxers are so scary, Smith. I was on benzodiazepine for like a week for pulling a muscle in my back, and oh, I had to flush the rest of it. It was freaking me out. It's like, ooh, I can see why someone would get addicted to this. Flush. Fentanyl is an RX drug, and it's easily made. It can be made extremely easy. Gone are the days of meth. Here are the days of Fent. It's administered via IV patches. It can be inhaled through a nasal spray. Much, much more. There's so many ways it can be used and abused. Just a few months ago, my own mom was put on fentanyl while she was in the hospital recovering from a stroke because she was in pain. Fentanyl for a stroke. And she was saying, oh, Senna, by the time they had already put it in, I was too late to say no. And man, that stuff had me feeling all kinds of weird and loopy. I don't ever want to have that in my system again. My mom worked at that hospital and they didn't even think to ask. They were like, sorry, Mrs. Bonbon. Fent. Hello? 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 Talking to her on the phone, and I can hear how freaking loopy she's getting, and I'm like, I gotta go. This is weird. Bye. Hello? The only drug I'm interested in is Allegra D. I love Allegra D. Yeah, they almost did that with my mom for a fever. Yeah, a fever. You know what brings down a fever? Tylenol. Tylenol can break a fever. Throwing someone in an ice bath can break a fever. Taking a cold shower can break a fever. There's plenty of ways to break a fever. I know. I had a fever I think about a month or so ago. All I did was, I'm starting to feel hot. Check temp. Okay, time for 2 Tylenol. Alright, the temp's down. Look at me. Wah! She needs chicken noodle soup, not Fent. Con artist of the highest order. Yup. Hot dang, that certainly doesn't help the drug-seeking problem if they give Fent for headaches. Yeah, exactly. Senna? Yes, hi. Hello. If you don't recognize me, it's because I'm using a dog's model for the week. And then, I'll be streaming Thursday, Friday, and Sunday of next week. Yeah. Whose model? A dog made me this model for my birthday. Gave it to me as a gift. He rigged it too. Which is nice, because otherwise it would have been a very long back order. Lost many friends to the shit. It's criminal how they have pushed this shit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, if not pipeline, lacing. This is becoming increasingly frequent in street drugs to the point where, you're more likely to have something laced than you are to have something that's not laced, even in marijuana. So, even something lighter. Yep. Lacing. Why? Because it's undetectable. And it has similar feelings as all of the things that it gets laced into. The reason that they lace these drugs is you can get high quicker, and it takes very little to get high on fentanyl. Very little has to be used to get high off of it. So dealers are now known to lace all of their opioids with Fent. Solution, grow your own. That, or, wait till it's legal in your state, because what the hell? Absolutely not. But yeah, it's an epidemic of seismic nature. Gotta stop Big Fent. I wonder how hard it would be to easy-o a guy with a Fent overdose. I don't know. So why Fent? What is it about fentanyl? We see rappers, we see famous people, we see people who we would never even think overdosing on fentanyl. In the media, we see loved ones overdosing on fentanyl. We see friends overdosing on fentanyl. We see people strung out. Even in our smaller cities, you see people strung out on this drug. You start to learn what Fent looks like on a person versus what heroin or meth looks like on a person. I grew up around a lot of people who were users because I grew up in a church that had a very big homeless ministry. Because we had a lot of homeless people in my city. Like a lot. And I got used to seeing heroin addicts and meth addicts. And the heartbreak of it. Of when you could have a real conversation, they weren't awful people. And that was that was the worst part. Is that they weren't awful. You want them to be awful so that way you don't have to care. But you end up caring because they're not awful. And then they die. They die. And you can't even be shocked. You can't even really grieve because it feels like, well, yeah, that makes sense. It feels so natural for them to just be gone. To just all of a sudden one Sunday just stop showing off the wagon. And next thing you know, you reach out to your homeless ministry director and yep, sure enough, they've been body bagged for weeks. It is quite astonishing to see. Sounds like life has made you humble and made you realize the important things about life. I don't know. I think I'm very grateful for my upbringing. That I saw a lot of the things that I saw at such a young age. And that it wasn't my family that was like that it was people we were trying to help. Because it helped frame things a lot differently. But it is, yeah. There was a lady. I know she's still alive. I haven't heard differently yet. It's only a matter of time. What a wonderful lady. She turned to drug use after her son was brutally murdered by her fiance. And when she got pregnant again, she was overjoyed and quit cold turkey and was doing the things that she was supposed to be doing. She was on her way to a doctor's appointment, riding in the back seat, when there was a horrific traffic incident. And traffic incidences in my town are horrific. I mean, there's some that are on like a national scale, like it's changed literal laws. And it killed the child inside of her and made her barren. And she quite obviously turned back to drugs. But every time she'd have a moment of clarity, she was just such a sweet and earnest soul. It felt so awful, you know what I mean? Felt so awful. And she was never begging for money, she was never aggressive, she was never angry, she was never mean. And she was always honest about her drug use. And she got tired of seeing us kids worry for her, that she stopped coming to church, and haven't seen her since. And she does anything she can to get her next high, including pimping herself out. And it is quite a stark way to live. The last time I did see her, she looked like a ghoul, which is crazy because she looked like a ghoul when she first came to us, but she really looked like a ghoul then, too. And seeing pictures of what she was when she had her son before he was murdered was, just heart-wrenching. And I guess that's, you know, this is what this is. This is what this is, you know? And part of her falling off the wagon, I should add, when she had, you know, her womb essentially ripped to shreds in a car wreck, was she was put on an opioid and sent home with it. A recovered addict. The hell was she supposed to do? Right? So this is part of why people turn to us. Fentanyl is highly addictive due to its potency. It is extremely, extremely, extremely potent. How many drugs do you know of besides cocaine that you can just inhale? And it's so potent that it can be nebulized as a small spray. That's how potent it is. Fent makes its users feel a sense of genuine, quote-unquote, euphoria. But a fentanyl overdose is literally your brain suffocating to death. Your brain no longer has oxygen, and you suffocate essentially from the inside out. This is what happens when you overdose, and if you are not provided Narcan or the Narcan doesn't work, you suffocate to death. You might start to seize, you might start to convulse, but at that point you are legally brain dead and gone. Meth. Isn't it like sniffing? It's literally nebulized. It's not something that you have to even melt down. It's not something that you have to inject. You can literally put it in a patch, like a nicotine patch, and it can be absorbed through your skin. Withdrawal symptoms are severe as well, which is part of why people find it very hard to quit once they start, because you have muscle and bone pain, a pain so excruciating you can feel it in your very bones. You no longer can sleep because fentanyl helps you sleep. So now you can't sleep. Your bones are in excruciating pain. You have diarrhea, you're vomiting everywhere, you're having cold flashes, your entire body is covered in goosebumps. Loss of limb control, especially your legs, you start shaking them convulsively and you have no control of them. And severe cravings, to the point of aggression, to the point of complete loss of sanity and reasoning and logic. Fentanyl is quickly becoming the leading opioid for overdose and death. This sounds like a weapon. It most certainly is. I'm not religious, but drugs are definitely a demon. Oh yeah. Or at least created by. Fentanyl is a synthesized drug. It's not natural in any capacity. It is completely and 100% alright, Lester. Synthesized. It's not natural. It is not naturally derived from anything in this world. It is synthesized. It's plastic. Might as give them sulfur mustard gas at that point. I don't think natural drugs are good either. I don't think most inhibitors, most drugs aren't good, but I will say, homeopathic things, I teeter-totter. You know what I mean? If it's of the earth, it might, as long as it's not severely processed, it might be helpful. Like if you can chew on this for nausea, why not? So no, weed is bad. I don't smoke. I haven't smoked in a very long time. I haven't drank in a very long time. I mean, very long time. I mean, time is very much an illusion, but I mean, multiple months. Weed isn't as bad as LSD or heroin. True. Weed is, I don't know. The weed argument is an argument that I don't feel like a lot of people can have if they don't have chronic pain. And I do. I had a medical marijuana license at one point for my arthritis. I mean, you get diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at 16 and let me know how that goes for you. But at the end of the day, it's fine. Hi, Senna. Sorry I'm late. What did I miss? We are discussing fentanyl. Here, I can go over the slides up to where we are right now. And you could just look at them real quick. I'm not endorsing drug use at all. I was born to be a VTuber built in health, D-Beth. No, I always thought I was healthy. But the head stuff happened after I became a VTuber, so I guess I was healthy. VTubing just creates health issues, I guess. I should quit. This is where we are now. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis in my early 30s. Can't imagine being diagnosed with it at 16. That sucks. No. It's a bad joke, I'm sorry. Oh no, but then we'd lose our favorite teddy bear. Weed makes me physically ill, migraine, severe nausea, vomiting. Don't even have to do it myself, just being near someone else who smoked is enough to impact me. I mean, if that will make you better. It won't. It won't. To be fair, if it meant you would be better, that would be the right move. No, it won't make me better. It won't. I need therapy. On all fronts. But that's okay. That's okay. Quitting is bad for my health. To be fair, I'm on ADHD meds, anxiety meds, and seizure meds. Like, I need help. Yeah, right now, I can't do a lot with the medication that I'm on for my head, which means that, I'm in a lot of pain all of the time. Like, all of the time. My shoulders are always in really sharp and severe pain, but really, I feel like, if I was working really hard on those muscle groups, maybe it would be a little better for me, you know? But, I can't take ibuprofen at all, or Motrin, it's the same thing, but, I can't take ibuprofen at all because it is a blood thinner. It's a known blood thinner, and my blood is already really thin from, the altitude med that I'm on. So I can't risk it because, you know, then if I get, if I get, like, accidentally cut, I can just bleed out. Is the concern there. So I can't take that, which was my go-to for a lot of my pain issues. Tylenol doesn't seem to do anything for my joints. I don't know why. Maybe it's all in my head, I don't know, but it doesn't seem to do anything for my joints, and it's really bad for your liver, so I don't take Tylenol unless I absolutely have to. Right now, I'm on a caffeine supplement, and my, it's called acetazolamide, which is a altitude sickness medication that's used for, like, hiking. Super high peaks, because my brain is in space when it comes to its pressure. And then, I'm also on Zofran as needed, which is for, or Odonestrant is the same. It's the same. It's just name brand versus generic brand. But it's the same drug. That's for nausea because of the altitude med. Yep. And then, what else? I feel like I have to drink an electrolyte packet a day, but right now, I have G Fuel, so I drink a big thing of that once or twice a day right now to help like re-up on caffeine, but also to then have that electrolyte. Tried turmeric supplements to help the joints? I haven't. What happens if you stop all your meds? I would probably have to go to the hospital and get a shunt put in my head. That's what would happen. I'd have to get a valve put in my head to release the pressure. I hope you get better. Me too. Take your meds, guys. We made them for a reason. Take some of your meds, not your opioids though. That's not meds. That's just drugs. Senna could literally become Valve Guy. Oh my god. Senna doesn't call herself a gamer, but she died without G Fuel. Basically. Also, fuck you. Oh my gosh. Take your Robitussin. Oh my god. But yeah. A what in your head? Oh lord. Yeah, a shunt. It would be like a pole to like essentially squish my brain off of my skull, or like essentially create a barrier, and then a valve on the outside to then release pressure, and then I would have to go and get like very frequent checkups to monitor that valve, and then I would have to figure out a system to also monitor the valve by myself for myself, which you know, as someone who is aggressively mid, I don't think I need a shunt in my head to add to how aggressively mid I am. You know what I mean? Like, how much worse are we trying to go here? What the flip-flop? Here's towards one last right, thank you. But yeah. So, I'm having bouts of sharp shoulder pain too, and I have no idea what it is. Well, it could be anything. Could be a torn ligament. It could just be strained muscles, which, you know, could just mean you need to rest it. Could be something that you just slept on wrong and you need to, like, do some nice stretches. Sometimes I sleep on my neck wrong. Well, often I sleep on my neck wrong. So I have, like, a YouTube playlist for, like, stretches to rotate my neck. I also have really stiff neck. It's part of my diagnosis is that I have a really stiff neck now. So I have to like roll my neck every morning anyways. My neck is extremely stiff all of the time and it feels awful. Especially when my symptoms are really bad for my head. My head, like, you know when you go underwater and all of the water enters your ears and then your head feels really weirdly light afterwards? Imagine that all the time. And then like a searing headache from time to time right behind your eyes. That's what it's like for my head. And then like my eyes, I have permanent damage to my peripheral vision from it because I didn't know that's what was happening. So I was just going for a routine checkup at the eye doctor. And they found this through an eye scan, and I did not look at any of the warning signs because I didn't realize that that's what was happening. I thought I was just having bad headaches from wisdom teeth coming in, and that I just needed to get my eyes checked because I thought my vision had just gotten a little blurrier and my, you know, prescription needed updating in my glasses. Nay. When I'm very old, I will more than likely be blind from this. There will come a point, I'm sure, in my elderly age that I will just go, I'm not getting another needle in my back, fuck it. And I'll just be blind. So, wish I could help more. Have you tried a pillow for side sleepers? Yeah, I do. I do, yeah. It's, a lot of it's just the diagnosis at this point. But yeah. And I still have to get blood panels done to see if it's my hormones being out of whack, because it is definitely not a weight issue like they originally thought, since my weight I haven't gained weight in like many years. So, yippee! I at least have doctor recordings of all of that where it's like I've not put on any weight, so it's not from weight gain. It's not because I'm a chunkalunka. So, it's not that. It's all because of my hormones, more than likely, or my thyroid. And they've yet to do a blood panel for me, and I'm kind of just waiting on all that. Yeah. I'm vexed by your suffering. Yeah. Pretty much. Lolly voice, pretty much, yep. Pretty sure something changed. I can't give this up like I used to.
Then you just need to hold out till you can be a cyborg bear.
I don't want to be a cyborg. If they start offering that kind of, like, stuff, like, I will just perish. I don't know, I'll just go to Oregon or Canada and perish. Hi, Cinnamon Bears. Hope you had a good day, Mama. I did. Hope you had a good day, baby. I'm trying not to. I'm like doing a lolly voice, but I was already talking kind of high pitched, so I don't think it's making a big difference. No, not Canada. Oh, listen, you need LASIK. Hell no. Oh my gosh. There is a reason why doctors who try to prescribe LASIK don't get LASIK. Okay? You okay? Yeah, I'm good. I have to do the lolly voice. Wait, did I read something about thyroids? Yeah, I was just talking candidly about my head condition. But anyway, we move on. This is somehow what most drug users say is the worst of the worst drug. Which I will let you guys stop. I will let you guys decide, okay? This is Datura. It's derived from the seeds of a flower. It's marked as one of the worst drugs on the market for stupid hippies seeking a thrill. It's an overall bad trip. Quote-unquote bad trip. Okay? It's not crocodile. The effects of ingesting Datura can last for days on end while the user remains in a catatonic hellscape of lucidity. They just stay there lucid. Just drooling, pissing, sweating, shitting, vomiting. Yeah. It induces vomiting and shitting and pissing and sweating and in a catatonic state where you're probably sitting in it. What in the world? Even worse than Flocka? I don't know. This is what I saw when I was doing a deep dive on this. This is what I saw people being like, don't ever do Datura. It's such a bad trip. But then I heard like all of the horror stories of people's trips and I was like, maybe they're onto something. Datura is also something that a lot of children in like Southeast Asian countries accidentally ingest and then die tragically and horrifically from. So then, of course, a bunch of, rich hippies, because hippies are rich, are gonna go and take it so they can have a namaste trip. Is this different from DMT? Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. So, many who die from this die from dehydration or oh god. Oh, this is gonna trip me up. Asphyxiation. Okay, I got it. As this drug causes its users to lie comatose, not even ingesting water, as they struggle to breathe. So you're struggling to breathe the whole time, by the way. While their pupils are completely dilated and they're unable to sleep. Sounds like DMT and paralyzer, basically. Hippies can be self-correcting issues with enough to basically. Sounds wonderful. So, many drug users feel that even though Datura is not an addictive drug, its effects are so damning that it's somehow worse than fentanyl? Somehow? These hippie assholes. Mine's worse. Will it kill you? Well, yeah, if, like, no one's there to, like, help you. Make sure you drink water. Like, as long as you hydrate before, you'll be fine. And, like, you keep a good mindset, you'll be fine. Very zen. But, like, it could be so, so bad. In fact, usually it is super bad. Yeah. But it's, like, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and you should definitely do it. Just make sure you drink lots of water, and you have someone who can administer water to you. Hello? Brain cells, do you have them? I don't think so. You know what? At least the other drugs give you a good hallucination, so feel good. Oh no, these are also hallucinogens, okay? But for the most part, most of them report having horrific hallucinations. And the inability to escape them for days. For days, just laying there. Having the most horrific hallucinations, sweating, pissing, shitting, having someone spoon feed you ladles of water so you can live to see it and tell your tale. I just, you know, rich people bullshit, I feel, is something that a lot of people say and don't really know what they mean by it. But it's some rich people bullshit. For real, for real. Like Mario said, you don't do drugs, you go to hell before you do drugs, you go to hell before you die. So nightmare drug sounds like the stuff of torture. Why would anyone choose to take it? Because, you know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and...
Oh, dude, you haven't lived until you have gone to hell and come back from it.
Yeah, when you look at people recounting it, they're like, it was a horrific thing. I'm so glad I tried it. I just... I hate it here. I know a guy that's a born again that did hallucinogens and thought he was haunted by demons for 3 years before Jesus personally saved him in a vision. He's also vegan. Many such cases. Being shot is often a once-in-a-lifetime experience too. Not looking to try that either. Dying is also a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I'm not looking to die anytime soon. Sinas, you got all these diseases and autism? Do you have schizophrenia? No, I don't hear voices or see anything. No. No. Although I do have some schizos in my family, like actual diagnosed, but one of it was because I had an uncle who was like the Rain Man smart, and then he got struck by a car as a child and it scrambled all his wires. And then he was put on anti-psych meds, and this was, you know, back in like the 70s, where it was a really high dose, and it made him, you know, psychotic. Because when you give a child whose brain is not fully developed anti-psych meds, it usually leads to psychosis in adulthood. Oh my gosh. Surprise, surprise. But yeah. She's not schizo, she just has that vibe. I don't know, maybe it's just who I'm around. But he's since passed. That uncle passed. Actually, when I started streaming, he passed fairly recently. This past winter. 2 of my dad's brothers passed this past winter. It was okay. My dad's side is really quite old. And not the best health. So, that's okay. I'm a high-functioning autist. Damn smart when I can actually focus. Yeah, I'm actually quite smart when I can actually focus too. Like, I can write an entire essay in 30 minutes with, like, work cited and everything. You know, I don't need ChatGPT. ChatGPT needs me. My, big paper, my, like, 20-page paper in college for my senior thesis, I was the only kid in my, entire course that got an A, and I was 1 point shy of a perfect 100. I had a 99. And I wrote it the week of. Well, no. Well, yeah. Okay, I wrote it the week of assigning it. So I wrote it in 1 week. And then I wrote BS workshop stuff along the way, all in the same week. So that way I could submit it to my professor of like, yeah, I'm totally working on it, but it was already done. It was already done. No, a lot of my smaller papers, though, I would always do it the night of, because I knew I could get it done in 30 minutes. Yeah, the hyper-focusing, yeah, I'm fairly good at that. But yeah, no, I'm actually really, really good. As much as I am ESL on stream, because my mouth can't keep up with my head. Very much so in writing, I am very well written. You wouldn't think so in Discord. I always misspell stuff, but I always take it super lackadaisical, and I'm always on my phone using like a swiping keyboard. I'm often making mistakes because of that. But I mean, I have 2 published short stories, and I have a published collegiate paper, and I was awarded best opening argument in debate. So yeah. Crunch really brings out superpowers? Yeah, it does usually. You must bear progeny. The world must have more smart bear to bring in the future. I mean, I hope to. I don't know how many, but I hope to. I'm an award-winning photographer and have 2 years worth of journalism myself. Yeah, that's amazing. Good for you. You've always given the impression of high intelligence and good work ethic. Yeah, I have actually a really good work ethic. It was like one of those things that I always really admired about my mom growing up. That I just like, I wanted to emulate that when I first started working. I was like, oh, every job I've ever worked, I've worked myself into the ground for like little to no reward, but because I could at least then leave with my head held high knowing I did everything right. In case they did everything wrong. Like the last job I worked. So, giving them a month's notice because they asked when they first hired me if I could do that, and I stuck it through. It was hard, but I did it. So, yeah. I like it. I think if I went back to work now, I'd have to do food. I'd have to do food. I miss working in kitchens so much. It's such a good creative space because everybody around you is always so like, yeah, let's all work together. You all have the same goal of wanting to get the hell out of there, but also wanting to make good food so that way if they send it back, you can eat it. So, yeah. You need to open up a catering business? Yeah, if I could get the licensing and the space for it. That's the other issue, is a lot of places you need a professional space to operate out of, which you can't out of. My lease would never allow me. You can't operate a business out of the lease that I'm in. So it's like, I'd love to do that, but yeah. Anyway. Datura. That's it. I was gonna do more drugs, but I think I wanted to leave it a little shorter just because there are tons and tons that are really, 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 really bad, but not so much on the side of, like, literally, like, making you die. A lot of the deaths in these hallucinogenic drugs are not, like, something that you die off of because of, you know, overdosing. It's something you die of because of, like, human error and just stupidity, and you shouldn't be doing them. So, I don't want to give thrill seekers any sort of edge. So, but yeah. Real builders don't do drugs. Stay in school. I'd hire Senna to run my crew of my girl. Oh my god. Stop. But yeah. I don't know. I was also good at managing. I managed a cafe for 4 years. And almost all of my workers loved me. I only had one problem worker, and I just relocated her back to the dining people. I was like, get her out of my cafe. No. It's because they started counting cookies. So it was a whole debacle. So stupid. They started counting cookies at my job because the cookies were like $3 and they were huge, like the size of your face. And we would do a counted cookies. We always counted our stock, but they were really anal about the cookies because the cookies, you had to actually like pay for it. It wasn't just like your part of your student meal. Like you could pay for it with a student meal card. You couldn't for this. You had to actually pay for it, which feels very stupid to me. I didn't make the rules on that one, although I tried. Anyway, they started doing that, and we started having to count the cookies because too many cookies were like, when we'd bring the trays back at the end of the night, my girls would bring the trays back and there'd be like a cookie missing here, a cookie missing there, or like 3 cookies missing, and I'd be like, oh gosh, okay. And I'm doing all the counts, and I'm the one responsible for it, even though I'm not there in person to manage them because it's their shift and they should be able to be well trained enough to manage it. Now all of a sudden cookies are missing. And that's going to be starting to come out of not just my paychecks, but their paychecks. And so I get set down by upper management and they go, hey, Shana, you need to talk to these girls. If you catch them in the act, we're going to put you on some shifts that we have heard from other people that they're giving away cookies. And if you catch them, we need to, have this ameliorated so we can not be losing money. Like, alright, whatever. Fine. Hate it. It's not something I enjoy. I liked working at restaurants where they had a house meal. And people made sure that we all got to eat something nice, including a dessert. That was my bread and butter. Absolutely loved it. And when I worked at my barbecue pit, they always gave us free food. This place, because it was ran by the college, was very, very, very strict. So they were like, okay, if any more cookies come back, it's going to come out of your pay first. And then if it continues, you are going to be demoted. And then it's going to start coming out of their pay. And if we find out that you've hidden anything or that they're hiding something, whoever it is, they're going to be fired. And they'll even be reported to the police for theft. Which I'm like, you can't really report $3 of cookies. I mean, added up, it's like, what, $12 at this point? Like, you guys are fucking crazy. But they were very, very, very strict about it. For whatever reason, it was like, we were under new management at that time, and she was like the one baking the cookies, even though I was the one usually baking them. She was just like, oh, my cookies. I was like, oh, okay, you're weird. Alright, fine. I hate you. Whatever. Fine. And we were always talking massive shit about her because she was so fucking annoying, and then she had like an underdeveloped jaw, and that was such an easy dig to get at her for because she was being so stupid about cookies that were like, maybe it's because she can't even open her mouth wide enough to eat them. So she looked like a fucking turtle. I'm like, the fuck do you know about cookies? The disfigured? No, plenty of people look like this. It's a very common thing. This is a woman having to have blue fur and large eyes. No. The Cookie Monster. No, she looked like a Muppet though. Was it IRL Lightfoot? Maybe. Oh, Iori Lightfoot? No. Anyway. Finally, I'm on shift with the girl, the cookie thief. I can't even tell you her name because you're like, oh, I see. But anyway, she was a character. She was on the step team. She was on my cheer team. And she was like, Senna, I'm gonna take a cookie. Is that fine? I was like, no, you can't, because we're being penalized for this now, so no. And she's like, well, just start the count different. Just say, mark it different. You can just mark it different. It's written in pencil. And I was like, no. No. I said, it's fine. Just grab the damn cookie. I'll pay for it. And she was like, okay. She grabbed the cookie. I guess she supposedly didn't hear that I said I'd pay for it. And then she, like, the rest of the shift had attitude with me, was mean to me, and then when it was time to close, and we closed at, like, midnight, 1 a.m., sometimes 2 a.m., and today was midnight. I'm like, alright, hey, I need you to help. Like, I'm packing everything up, and you're just over there talking with your friends. And she was, like, rolling her eyes, and, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, your job. I'm the boss. I said, hey, I need you to help clean up. I don't want to have to write you up. But if you can't help and do your part, it will result in a write-up. And she was like, oh, so you're threatening me? And I was like, no, I'm promising you. You are not scary. You might be bigger than me, but you ain't scarier than me. I will bite your head off. She was trying to use her size to... She was an Emily, right? No. 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 So, it was a whole thing. So I was like, you know what? I just paid out of my own money for this cookie in order to, 1, save your own ass, and 2, save my own ass, and 3, just to get you to, like, I don't know, be pleasant this shift, because she was notoriously unpleasant and had a really shitty attitude, right? So then when she hit me with this bullshit, I was like, oh, okay. So I wrote everything down, I brought it to my manager, I said, hey girlie, it's her. So we don't have to fire her or anything, I just don't want her in my cafe anymore, at all. And if I see her behind the counter, I'm calling the campus police on her. I do not want her here. She's a thief. She's rude. She's disrespectful. Don't want it. Oh my god. She came with the entire step team. The entire step team a week later. And tried to quote unquote press me, which means intimidate me, and whatever. And came to try and intimidate me, because why are you telling everybody I'm a thief and you're this and you're that, and you hate me because of this and you hate me because of that, and you're an ist. It's because of isms caused this. I was like, you literally stole a cookie. I paid for it for you. All you had to do was your job. You refused to help clean up. You refused to do what you were supposed to do. I literally just laid it all out there with her entire friend group there, who were also my friends, who were all mad at me like, Senna, I can't believe you would do this. I didn't know you were an ist. You hate them. You hate us. I'm like, no. That's such a weird thought process to have. You're accusing me of being a thief, and I'm like, you literally admitted to being the thief. To me. Saying that you always take the cookies, and that I should just flub the numbers. It's not about the cookies, it's about the attitude. I don't give it, if it was about the cookies, you'd be fired. You'd be in jail. You'd have some sort of misdemeanor on you. I don't know, you'd not be at this school anymore. And the entire team was like, ooh. We did not know that. She did not tell us that. Oh. So just one question, Senna. How can I get someone off these substances without sounding preachy or nosy? Do I don't know, pray? That's a really complicated... That is really complicated. I'm gonna table that, hold on. So then, after that, for the next 2 years of my college life, the cheer team was kind of hell to be on, because there was lots of shit flinging of Senna's one of those, she's an ist. I'm like, ugh, no, but I'm starting to. But yeah, no, it's crazy, it's very annoying, the accusations that can just be wildly thrown out for doing your damn job. For not losing your damn job. For not wanting to lose your damn job. Crazy. Oh, Cinnamon Bear of the internet. What is your wisdom? I know, tough question. Sorry for putting you in the hot seat. No, so I think for me, there was a guy that I grew up with who died from heart failure in his sleep. He was once a recovered alcoholic and then faded back into it. And he was a very lovely, very intelligent man. I was very close to his kids, loved his kids to death. And when they announced his death in the church, I remember falling to my knees, crying loudly. It was a spectacle, which I still feel a little embarrassed about, that I shouldn't have made it about myself. Maybe that's what I was doing, I don't know. But the point is, there was a lot of prayers being said for that man. There was a lot of heartfelt words being said to that man and for that man. There was a lot of love being poured onto him, and it wasn't enough. So sometimes, and it is really, really unfortunate, sometimes you can't save them. Sometimes prayer is your only reliance. And sometimes that is, sometimes the answer is no when you pray, right? There's 3 answers you can get when you're praying: yes, no, or wait. Right? And sometimes the answer is no. When you have something like free will, you can't take that from them, if even God won't take it. And that's very, very sad. So, yeah. You're emotional, what's the problem with that? I don't know, I try to make sure I'm not making things about myself. I feel like as an autist, I tend to be very self-centered, and I really want to try my best to be empathetic and meet people halfway. I had an issue with a friend a little while back where she would share her problems, and then I would share my problems, thinking this makes me more relatable and shows her that she's not alone in her struggles. And then she kind of made me very aware that she hated that it made her feel like I was devaluing what she was going through, and making it seem like I could possibly understand it all. And that was never my intention, and in a way I was hurting her, although unintentionally. It's not about intent, it's about causation. And so, of course I apologized, and we've made up, and we're extremely close now, but it was hard. There was a lot of distance and weirdness where I was avoiding her like the plague because I just thought she was mad at me for absolutely no reason, and I couldn't figure out why. So I was just like, oh, I'll just avoid her till she lets me know or figures it out, or I guess that friendship's just gone now. I handle a lot of friendships because I don't want to ever be the confrontational one, because I also have a really big issue with being too confrontational, because I'm the type of person, because of my own autism, that I will just go, what's your problem? And nobody reacts to that question good. People typically, generally, even if they're fellow autists, clam up. Most people aren't candid about it, and I'm usually looking for an earnest response, and usually they're like, oh, nothing, everything's fine, and so then I operate like everything's fine, and then when I notice that the treatment of me is not fine, I'm like, oh, okay, so they just hate me. I guess that friendship's over. So, how do you stay positive, Senna? Is it the TISM buff? I guess it's life experience? I don't know. I feel like I'm actually in a really, really bad spot. Sad Senna-wise, but I'm trying to remain positive. and not despair about a lot of things and not be super doomy, gloomy. But for the most part, I would say I have like I have a deep-seated joy. But I honestly think that comes from my faith and not myself, so I don't really know. I tend to be realistic in the way that I look at life. A lot of people think I'm pessimistic or I'm being overly critical of others, and then I'm proven right. So I'm not like a pessimist. It's really easy for me to spot behavior patterns and call them as I see it. And when I have a friend that I really trust, I will usually tell them, hey, so-and-so has been doing this pattern. Be careful. Or, hey, I've noticed this. Be careful. So I usually end up being the odd one out or the bad egg because I am realistic, but I'm not critical. You know, I'm not looking at it being like, oh, that person who has this, this behavior pattern is a bad person. I'm like, no, not at all. But I am being like, okay, well, I'm now closing myself off from this person so I don't get hurt. And I tend to have a lot of friends who are very kumbaya, where it's like, I don't want to pick a side, I just want to have lots of friends. And I'm like, that's really stupid. Maybe that's the autism, but I think that's the stupidest thing on the entire planet. I think it's actually mind-boggling, mind-numbingly stupid to just be like, I just want to have all the friends, instead of being like, I want good friends. Me personally, I want good friends. Only. I'd be happy to just have one friend. Yeah. But one good friend. I would rather have one good friend than like 8 so-so or bad friends. You know? Yeah. Having that many friends who are that bad leads to a lot of melodrama too, which is very tiresome and extremely boring. Like, there's been times where I've had to listen to someone's melodrama over and over and over, and it's not them processing things, it's them looking for sympathy, and I have to bite my tongue to not go, ugh, boring. So it's like, I don't know. I try very hard to be empathetic and to really listen to people because it is one of my big shortcomings, and I have to bite my tongue a lot. Like a lot. So, you can't have all the friends, though. You can't. I don't want to be made to pick sides. Okay, well, bye. I've had friends who have stayed with people who, friends with people who have done literally the most unforgivable things to me and to others. For the sake of, well, they didn't do it to me, or I don't want to be made to pick sides. And I'm like, they literally, to illustrate it, it's like, they literally killed someone. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a friend that did that, but like, they literally killed someone. What do you mean? Well, at least they didn't kill me. Like, that's the thought process. That's how stupid you sound. Like, well, they didn't do it to me, so it doesn't matter. They literally killed someone. What? It's like one thing if they did something petty. I can forgive that. But like, you know, there's so many things. And even VTuber friends can do that to people. I know people who are friends with other people who doxed other people. And it's like, that's crazy! Why would you do that? And they're like, well, they didn't dox me. And I'm like, it's only a matter of time. Don't tell them anything personal, you fucking idiot. So, yeah. But now they have all the chances to. So stupid. Crap is getting late. Good night. I roll in the ops for my friends. I need to know if someone's got my back to call them friend. True. Probably why I don't have any friends in real life right now. There's a lot of bullshitters, and I don't have the time for it. It's like I've gone this long waiting to have a quality real life friend. I can go longer. You know? But yeah, no, I don't have any IRL friends. Not anymore. Like, literally not at all anymore. Just my brothers. So, it's easy to be friends, it's hard as hell to be real friends. Wait, aren't you just the honest and very blunt but right friend? More people need those? Yeah. Yeah. I'm always very blunt with my honesty, and I always share it very candidly with people I know who can handle it. Because I've also gotten really good at, like, reading people through trial and error. It's been extremely hard transitioning to making online friends because I can't see people's facial expressions. But I've learned, you know, typing styles and hearing their voices sometimes and like calls and whatnot to understand like how they react to things, and generally being able to kind of weed out who's trustworthy. So yeah, I roll on the ups. But yeah, I like to call it as I see it, even if it makes me sound like an asshole, which is more often than I should sound like an asshole. But I'm never like, okay, hey, this person's doing this again. Be careful. And she's ugly. And he's stupid. And they're stinky. Like, I'm never like gonna tear someone down for it. I'm just gonna call behavior out, or call like bullshit when I smell it. You know what I mean? Like, how are we all sitting in the same room smelling bullshit and not one of us is going, all of you are going, smells like roses, and not one of us is like, no, it smells like bullshit. But Senna, you're stinky as well. I smell like coconuts today, actually. That's honestly the same opinion I've developed with finding a gal pal. The truth is that people don't want to hear the truth. That's the shit thing. Very true. They'd rather have you, like, stroke their ego constantly. Wait, coconuts have a smell? Yeah. They smell like coconuts and vanilla. So I'm wearing cocoa butter lotion and coconut scented SPF and coconut scented deodorant and a little bit of the Givenchy pie, and that's it. Yeah. Some women are dramatic. Yeah, and I'm definitely guilty as charged. That's not to say like I don't get dramatic. I don't have the, you know, opportunity to be dramatic. I don't have the opportunity to start crying in the club. But like, you know, at the end of the day, time and place. I also feel like a lot of the guy friends I have made, and even my own chat, right, my own bears, I'm very painfully aware of my presence as a woman. And that my woman tears, my wily woman tears, actually have some form of an effect. Which means I have to be aware, I have to be careful of how that might affect, you know, my bears and those friendships, right? Where it's like, I can't, you know, go in and guns a-blazing, just cry it out and, you know, be like, oh, but this, oh, but that, oh, but this. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels, I don't know. I know a lot of people would be very upset with the way I word things, because I am very matter of fact about it, but it feels extremely manipulative to just like know that that has some form of power and then just like blatantly use it, which I get that, you know, a lot of people wouldn't like to hear that. But it's just how I feel. And sometimes crying is good, you know, and just like being able to thug it out with your homies and be like, sharing trauma, that's one thing, right? And not trauma bonding, but like just being able to like process things together with friend groups is really nice, very cathartic for a lot of people, and myself included. But it's like I try very hard that if I have an issue to not just like go and cry, you know? It's just, it feels, I don't know, bad. It's like, there's no moral high ground here. I'm not like, oh, if you do that, you're a terrible, shitty person. I know that some people are like, oh, you must think of this, you must think that. You're stupid, and you should probably, I don't know, cease existing in Minecraft, lol. But, I don't I don't have this moral high ground, I just recognize it. Why? Because I have 4 brothers! Because I had very few female friends growing up, because there were not a lot of girls at my church that were my age. So it's not like I'm looking for a pat on the back, and it's not like I think I'm better than anyone else. No. It's more like, it's important to recognize that, men are extremely emotional. And it is hard for a man, especially a grown man, to be in the presence of a crying woman that they care about. I think that's more than fair to recognize, realize, and be careful of. Yeah. No sense of morality at that point, it's just real recognizes real. And if you have a problem with it, maybe you're not real. If you don't want a pat on the back, will you at least accept a pat on the head? I guess. I don't know. I don't think it's worth a pat on the back. I think it's just pattern recognition. Pattern recognition. Girl I care for, even though I just care for her as a friend, is crying in front of me. How do I fix? Right? And for the most part, I'm not saying girls don't feel that way about guys, but for the most part, it's a lot easier for women to compartmentalize those feelings and go, I care, but I ain't going to move mountains. It's not as equal as you would like it to be. Proceeds to spit on you. Crying woman is like they say about sirens, we can't resist. Kinda. Some people. Screw me. Ew. Men are genetically wired for good reason to respond to women's tears. Quite literally, it is oonga boonga of you to go,
woman cry, me fix, ooh.
And it is quite literally on women to oonga boonga, man cry, I give pat. And I tell him, I here for you. And I think in head, grow up!
Unga bunga, woman cry, not good, me fix, ooga booga.
But yeah, no. Or you're like me. I like seeing guys cry. Mainly because I never really saw my dad cry until I was too old for it to matter. So, I like seeing it. It makes me go, aw. He can feel. Also, when guys cry, their eyes get all like... Their eyes get... Their eyes get so glossy. Like women, we ugly cry. Guys, they don't ugly cry. They're just like... They cry so cute. When I cry, I'm like... Ah! Screaming silently in the shower, come out with a red, blotchy, puffed face. A man cries. Like, my youngest brother cries and his eyes look like big puppy dog eyes, all wet and dewy. And I'm like, I'm so sorry that you're sad, but also, can I take a picture? You're so cute right now. You look like a little baby bear. Sorry. So they animate cry. Basically, yeah. Sometimes I cry and laugh at the same time. My dad's cried since, and even then, I love my dad. But he's cried. And he's very beautiful afterwards. He has like these very gray blue eyes, and his eyes get very, like, very, very blue after he cries. And they're very pretty. I don't know. My mom cries, and I'm like, ew. Shit, put a mask on or something. I don't want to see that. That's disgusting. Knock it off. Oh my god. Stop. Ew. Are you crying? That's a little gay, dude. that's how I feel when my mom cries. Unless it's for something that's real, then I hug her and care. But usually it's not for something real. She's calls me a crybaby. That woman is a cry baby. If I'm a crybaby, she's the cry queen. Oh my gosh. Ugh. As a man, you cry in the shower after contemplating life? I feel like so many women ugly cry. I've seen like 3 women in my entire life who have cried, and I'm like, are you crying? What the fuck? Why are you pretty? Ew, knock that shit off. And then hug them, you know. I thug it out with them. I had a friend in college whose horse died across the country, her horse, and she was inconsolable. She grew up with that horse. I literally rocked her in my arms. Rocked her in my arms. And you know what I whispered in her ear that made her laugh uncontrollably? I said, I really love you, but I want you to know you look really fucking ugly right now. She just started laughing. She was like, I bet you I do. Oh my god, you're an asshole. So yeah. And then she still cried, and I still rocked her. Hummed in her ear. But I got a good laugh in. Made sure that she wasn't, you know, on the edge. Won't you step back from that ledge, my friend? If you die right now, people will realize what you look like when you cry. That's how you know Sin is a real one. Yeah. Which causes misunderstandings I don't understand until later. Good old mama bear. Yeah. I've always been the mom of friend groups. It's part of why I end up being so forgettable. You know, you always forget your mom. So, that's me. I'm forgettable. You know the song, I'm unforgettable. Wow! Me, I'm forgettable. So yeah, it's fine. Nice third eye blind reference. Edging, wait. Are you gutter minded? I don't forget my mama. Still miss my Navy mama. She's a real one. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes though, people do remember me, and they're like. Sometimes it was especially bad when I was back home, where I'd like get approached by someone and they'd be like, "Oh my god, Sema?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "8th grade orchestra." I'm like, "Yeah, you're so and so." Like, "Oh my god, you remembered me." I'm like, "I'm a grown woman. How do you remember me? You're also a grown woman. How do you remember me?" And they're like, your impact on my life was immense, and I just want to thank you for how nice you were and how much you encouraged me and made me feel seen and accepted. And I'm like, I did what? Yeah, when you stood up for me to those boys who were making fun of my haircut, it made me realize I could just look however I wanted, and it didn't matter. And it was such a boost to my confidence. I finished middle school with pride. And blah blah blah, and this is what I'm doing with my life now. And I'm like, hello? hello? Like the little girls I helped raise at church when I went back home, a couple months ago. They were like, Santa! I was like, I'm surprised you guys even want to hug me still. You guys are teenagers. I thought you would think it's icky to hug an adult. And they're like, you're so amazing. We love you. You're so beautiful. I hope I look like you when I grow up. And I'm like, I hope you don't. What? You are gorgeous. I hope you continue to look like the supermodel you are. What? So, yeah. I don't know. They're very nice. But they're like, thanks for everything, blah 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 blah. It's great. Kids love me. Invite me to your parties. I'll host. I'll be the bear on the unicycle. But yeah. So, yeah. I think that's it. Is there any more questions regarding to drugs originally? The stream was about drugs at one point. And now it's just like me yapping. But that's the fun part about getting old. You get to pretend that it was all according to plan. Nah. I want to be honest to the very end. Of like, wait, really? That's awesome. Time to make Santa my friend. Need more people like y'all in here. You have an experience with druggos? With drug addicts? Yeah. Yep. I grew up in a major city with a lot of homeless people. We had an entire homeless ministry. So we had a lot of homeless people who would sometimes come through the church. But for the most part, we had a lot of addicts who would come. And they'd be on the wagon for a while and relapse, and then they come back after a while and be back on the wagon, and then they relapse, and about the third time they wouldn't come back. So yeah, just want to say hippies suck. Instead of yapping is a good palate cleanser after Fent. I figured. Are drugs bad? Depends. It depends. Some drugs are good, they extend your lifespan, but maybe you're messing with the inevitable. I don't know. I guess it kind of just depends on your own outlook. I think everybody has their own set of morals when it comes to it. I would say, for the most part, addictive drugs are pretty bad. Yeah. Drugs hate. It's a very wide term. Everything can be considered one in certain conditions like concentration. No questions. I see druggies at the bus stop every day I go to work. I've been seeing a lot of homeless in my area lately, which feels impossible because our winters are genuinely so bad. It's a little more common in the city that's like 30 minutes away. I say city very lightly. It is very small. I would never consider it a city personally, but city. Sometimes there's like, beggars on the street, and when you grow up around addicts, you learn to recognize addicts. This town I live in is touted as like a really bad drug town. I have never seen anyone actually icky in my town, actually druggy in my town. Like, there's plenty of white trash, but like, so am I. So, I don't know. Like, for the most part, it's actually a really clean place. It's cleaner than any of the other surrounding villages, so, I don't know, I really like my village. The neighboring village, when I was driving there the other day, they had a couple beggars right as I was heading into town, and I was stunned to see them there. Actually, I was very stunned. Yeah. But I don't know what they're doing so far north. It makes more sense for them to be in the city than my way. So when we take into Torah, never. I don't think I'd ever do well on a hallucinogen. Just because I have like a lot of unresolved trauma that I'm not really looking to resolve anytime soon. And I just don't think I want to face that on a hallucinogen. So yeah. Also, you like need a buddy. I just don't think that's, yeah, it's a little too complicated. I don't know how more homeless people don't die where I live, given how cold some nights are. Yeah, literally. But then I have to remember there's shelters, but there's not any shelters in my area. So I'm like, where do you go? So then I'm like, I realized that a lot of them aren't actually homeless. They live in Section 8 housing, and then they bum around all day looking for money to then buy drugs. And then the government just pays all their bills. Which sounds pretty sweet, not gonna lie. Sounds pretty sweet. And you know, that's not being crass, that is actually reality. You know, where we all live, we live in reality. So, you know, before anyone's like, oh, that's so mean, that's so callous, addicts don't mean to be like this, blah 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 blah, shut up. Not all Section 8, not all Section 8. For the most part, all Section 8. For the most part, all Section 8. Because it is actually incredibly hard to get on Section 8. You literally cannot be working a job to get onto Section 8. So. Yeah. Oh, that's okay, Mumber. I think it's alright to ask that. One more. Have you taken any strange drugs? Nope. I don't mind answering that because the answer is no. No, I have not. I have never. And I will never. Never taken anything strange, unnatural, crazy, mind-altering. So no. You can tell a druggie from first glance if you've been around them before. Yep. Just like if you have autism, you can tell other autists pretty easily. Even just in calls. Where she's like, ooh, I can smell you. You are me. You have what I have. Probably push further out since a lot of migrants are going to shelters too. No. No. We don't have a lot of migrants in my area. No. A lot of the migrants are hired by farms and housed by farms. And it's usually actually all above board because it's very strict in my state. So, right now, the most people we see coming and working on farms are Salvadorian or Guatemalan. So, and the Spanish on that one is funky. Do not recognize it at all. I fear that hallucinogens would permanently burn my brain even worse. Yeah. Man, I should do that too instead of working hard and being a protective, law-abiding member of society. Literally. The homeless dig burrows in the woods like coyotes. Yeah, no. I don't think there's anyone who's truly homeless in my area. And if they are, they're usually housed by someone, so therefore not homeless, they just don't own the home. Which at that point, I'm homeless because I don't own my home. So, yeah. One of us. One of us. Wait, do you use Spanish? I used to speak it fluently, and now not at all. I spoke it fluently when I was very young. In kindergarten until about like 2nd grade, I was speaking it fairly fluently and fairly frequently, to the point where it really pissed off my parents. But it was really great because I was able to help translate to English for a lot of the kids there. There was a kid I grew up with who like literally credits me for learning the English language because I taught him how to read in English and speak in English all throughout kindergarten. I have like a little trophy from kindergarten of like being the teacher's helper who like taught all of the Spanish kids how to read in English and speak English, because it was, you know, the early 2000s where they didn't have a lot of programs for that in public schools yet. Surely is your mom. So yeah, it was fun to do. And then I became semi-fluent again in high school when I was taking it, and I was speaking it regularly. And I kept up with it for a while when I was still living at home because my mom's fluent, for her job, because she works in healthcare and there's too many Spanish speakers to not be fluent in it, especially because she deals with really high risk pregnancy patients, so she has to be able to speak. But a speech teacher? No. Reading and like language skills teaching. No, speech therapy, I don't know. I probably should have been put in it, but my one brother had lead poisoning, so he was the one that they really focused on, and then my oldest brother was also in speech therapy for a while. But my second oldest brother was in speech therapy for a while, and he still struggles. I think he just like slurs his speech because he can't get his mouth to move quick enough. So he ends up talking like this a lot. His stuff gets really slurred, and when he talks to me, he's like, "Hey, son," and and it's not bad. Like, for the most part, it's not bad. He's completely into, you can hear him. He's clearly well heard, well understood. He's fine. My child is fine. Fuck you. But he's fine. But yeah. But I probably should have been put in some form of speech therapy. Looking back at it, I do have like a slight lisp, and I do tend to speak a little too fast. So yeah. Sin is built to run migrant crews. We need several schools, underground plumbing dug out in 2 weeks. All we have is shovels. I believe in you. No. My child is functioning perfectly well. Where's your manager? Aki? I don't know. I used to be good. My pronunciation is still decent. I feel like Spaniard Spanish, that dialect, and then the Mexican dialect are the easiest for me to like understand verbally. Just hearing it, I pick up on a lot more from it. Whereas any other dialect, I usually am very much lost in the sauce, where I'm like, this sounds nice. Ah ha ha ha. Are you interested in any specific Spanish dialect? The Mexican dialect, because it is the one I hear most frequently in the US. Or the Cuban dialect, Cubano. But yeah, the Mexican dialect or the Cuban dialect, because I think those are like the most frequent ones you hear in the US. On the East Coast, it's like you have Dominicans and Cubans and Puerto Ricans, and then on the West Coast you have Mexicans, Cubans, and Salvadorians. And then, like, sprinklings of other dialects, but that's, yeah. Puerto Ricans, though, it's a very broken Spanish. Same with the Dominican Republic Spanish. It's very, very broken. Way, way more broken than almost any other dialect I've ever heard, personally. So I wouldn't want to learn those ones just because it feels too incomplete. So the Latino dialect was very present in Disney movies, and it's chef kiss. Yeah, well, that's because of California, especially in Southern California, there, and some cities even now, the majority of, like racially, the majority is, Hispanic. So that means that, even the main language in a lot of those cities is also Spanish. And that's starting to become a thing in the city I was raised in, too. So, I always thought I was going to be more Pacific Islander. They always try to call us, like, the unofficial, like, last island. Seems like a lot of people who move from Hawaii, like, come directly to there. And then if you go on vacation from, there, anywhere else, if it's not California or Arizona, like, you're going to Hawaii. Like, that's the big one. So, most of the VAs were from Mexico. Yeah. Try being my friend who is Portuguese and still has to translate for Spanish. Portuguese is... At least it's not Brazilian Portuguese. Could always be worse. Portuguese is such an interesting one because it just sounds like... Huh? Wait, say it again? Are you speaking Spanish? Oh shit, that's definitely not Spanish. What the fuck are you saying? Man is legit from Spain. Well, yeah, because Portugal and Spain are quite close, right? Right? Ah, the Portuguese. They gave us so many things. So many things. It caused so many issues. Good night, Joller. Give money's ploy. Ja, 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 ja. I can't. Every time I see it, it will be like the ha 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 ha. I know it's ha 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 ha, but it has to be read as ja 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 ja. No wait, he's Portuguese. He would kill me if he heard me say that. Okay, I was gonna say he's in Spain, but he's speaking Portuguese. That's a little strange, but all right. Not my shit show. I don't know. I was learning Italian for the longest for a moment there when I was in college, and I really enjoyed it. I wanted to learn it so I could talk to my dad in Italian and help like practice his Italian more, because I was hoping to like take a senior trip during my senior year of college, like once I graduated, to Italy with my mom and him. I really wanted to. It was like really high up on my bucket list. I was saving and setting aside for it, and schlimmick and things completely outside of my control happened. So yeah. I had a lot of plans. I had a lot of lofty dreams. It's okay. Now I can have new lofty dreams. So. But yeah. Whoa, my elbow! Oh no, my weenus! My weenus! Ah, my funny bone! It's not funny. Oh. Ow. Okay. Ah, I hate it. It feels so weird afterward. It's like pulsating after. It's like ew, 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 ew. Ah. Okay. I think that's stream. I feel like I've been yapping too long. I feel like I'm losing the plot. Schedule TBD. I have a lot of stuff I have to get ready for Offkai and art as well. I've been procrastinating on. So now I'm on that mad dash and crunch, which means it's gonna be fabulous. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, you know, remember kids, crack is whack. And I will see you eventually, sometime this week. I don't know when. A lot of my due dates are by Wednesday. So, you know, after Wednesday, I'm all yours. Until then, I have to go into Offkai prep. And I'll be in Offkai prep from like the 30th. And then the day is the 2nd until the 3rd of June. So I'll need a day to decompress. So, you're preggers? No. What? Don't curse me with a divine birth. Thank you for stream, Senna. You're welcome. Thank you for coming, chat. I will see you, I think, Thursday. Fingers crossed, Thursday. And I'll be MIA for Offkai prep. I have to, like, pre-present it and practice it, and then a lot of calls and meetings, and so, and I'm the type of person, if I have one thing scheduled for the day, I am not free the entire day. Thanks, Autism. You're so cute like that. So girly pop. So, I will see you Thursday. The big day is Sunday for the panel. You'll get to see a hopefully fully completed, we'll see about the eyes, the embroidering of the eyes, Sinafumo, the eye meet with these two paws, and a presentation. I about shit bricks when I remembered it has to be an hour long, so there'll be a lot of room for questions, which means I get to meet a lot of people via mic and seeing them on a camera / like screen. It's gonna be interesting, like having it broadcasted back and looking at you guys and being like, ew, look at them, they're creatures of the night. Ooh. So yeah. Anyway, if you're there, stop by. It'll be at 12:30 on that Sunday, 12:30 PST. I didn't feel a need to clarify since it's not going to be streamed live, but I will have the VOD for that, and it will go up on the YouTube channel that you guys can see for archival purposes for those of you who cannot attend or who are gay enough to miss it. Don't miss it. Okay? Don't miss it. Mark it on your calendars. If you're there in person and you miss it, you're blocked. I saw who else I'm competing with for a time slot at that time. You better make it. Okay? It's people I support. Okay? It's people I support, and even then, it better be me. Choose me. Choose life. Choose life. Okay, anyway. Hell yeah. I actually forgot it's all Pacific time until you said that. Yeah, it's all Pacific time because, I mean, you're gonna be in the West Coast. Wah wah. But yeah. And then I'll be posting the VOD afterwards. I don't know how long afterwards. Probably have mods help me go through it and make sure everything's hunky-dory. I don't know if I'll edit out the Q&A section. I really don't want to. I feel like if you're gonna be on camera, you've already kind of consented if you're there in person, right? But I would worry about people worrying about being seen. So I just want to make sure everything's above board and people are okay with that. So okay. I love you. I'm praying for you all. Please have a wonderful week. I know a lot of you work really hellish jobs, so I hope you guys can, face it with a lot of energy. I was once you, and you helped me not be you, so thank you. That's so pretentious, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you so much for coming. I will see you very soon. Sorry, I cracked myself up. Sorry. It's our pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for being a captive audience to me and allowing me to yap, because now, now that my head has space aids, I can I can rest assured that I don't have to go into disability quite yet. But, the other option is probably gonna be disability, because I don't think I can actually work a real 9 to 5 anymore with my head. This is so bad. I'm so sad. Because I'm like, oh, I'd love to go back to work and then, figure out streaming again with a job that I actually like. Because I actually like working. I know, biggest war of the century. I like working. It makes me feel like I have a purpose. I'm a man. I have no purpose. Why am I alive? Kind of beat. And, I feel very much without a purpose. So, you seem like a motivated woman. I am very motivated. Oh my god, thank you! Oh my gosh, 7. Oh, thank you, Citrus. Holy crap. Welcome, Caladblog. Squirrely Bit, Raiden 199807, Void Meat, Dreadfowl, Kitsune Koibito, and Player FTW to the Build-A-Bears. Nice, thank you. Wow. You like working? Gross. Yeah, I do. I actually really love working. It's my secret of the night. That's my secret. I will bid you adieu with that secret. I actually love working a job. It makes me feel very fulfilled. And, it's very hard to view streaming as a job, it's like, yes, this is my income, so I have to view it as a job in a lot of ways, and I have to be trying to provide my own success, and then it's like, I don't know how to be successful as a streamer. I don't want to become like anything copy-paste. I want to just continue to be me, because it feels the most authentic, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm like, am I doing it? Am I doing the thing? Am I successful, or am I supposed to be doing more? And then I'm like, headworms. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. But I'm also like, I probably should be working, because I can't just rely on this, you know, indefinitely. And I'm like, but what? What job could I actually work full time at this point with my what is it called? Oh god. What is it called? Chronic illness? Yeah, my chronic illness. And I'm not like approved to lift over certain weights anymore, and even though I do for working out, like I can't get it approved for a doctor's note for work. And I'd have to, you know, write down my chronic illness. Like, no one's gonna hire me, and I don't really want to work like a sit-down job. I don't like sitting. Like, if I could stream standing, or like on a walking cycle, like on a treadmill, I would. If I could like cycle the entire time I streamed, I would. I'm not the type of person where I have to keep my like fingers busy. I want to keep my whole body moving. I'm just like,
I can't sit still. I need to be active.
So, it's part of why I like kitchens so much, because you're always running and doing something. You're never standing still, and you're never sitting. And I love it. It's also why I hate retail, because you're always standing in one spot, never doing anything, and also never sitting. Standing on hard cement in, you know, business casual. Sucks. Hate it. So, yeah. Anyway, that's that. But I'm spitballing way too much, and I'm losing you. You need to stay for the raid, you booties. Right, let's see. Who am I picking? Ooh, roulette. Who? What is this? Always have to double check. I always double check for a lot of precursors that I worry about, where I'm just like, I don't want them to have like a million rules that I don't really agree with in their bio. So, okay. I think I have exactly who I want picked. Okay. Please write a raid message. Please, one of you write a raid message, and I will pin it. Best message wins. Okay. And then I will rate you.
You'll be rated.
Drugs are bad raid? Boo! It's like you're not even trying. There you go. There we go. There you go. You guys gotta remember how a raid message works. It's gotta be an emoji, then this raid, and then emoji. Fent bust raid, Fent bear raid, fentanyl bear raid. We off that fetty raid. Drug bust raid. I think we have Citrus as the winner. He followed up with Smith's blunder. Bear Fent party. Oh my gosh, bingo. Fent bus raid. Yeah. Alright, I'll see you. Wouldn't want to be you, 'cause I'm already me. Oh. Okay. This is me going. I'll miss you. I hope you all have a good week. Okay, bye. Santa Groom's viewers raid. Shut the fuck up.